Yeah. So, namaste, everybody, and a warm welcome to all of you to this session of eSIP. So, in the last session, we had done about right evaluation of intention and competence with our relationship and our with respect to the feeling of respect. So, in this session, we will be doing for reverence for excellence. And before we go into that, let's just have a recap of what we have done in the last session when we have explored the feeling of trust and what is about our natural acceptance that we did. And our natural acceptance is our intention, that is to be happy and to make the other happy. The natural acceptance of the other is also the same. Are you able to see this? However, we both may be lacking in competence. So when we make a program with each other, it is essential to make it on the basis of our present level of competence. So with the trust on the natural acceptance, that is on our intention. So we also discussed that respect is about right evaluation. When we rightly evaluate, we feel respected. And when we are not rightly evaluated, we feel disrespected. Isn't it? Yeah. So disrespect can also take place in 3 ways, as we discussed. That is over-evaluation, evaluating for more than what it is, under-evaluation, that is evaluating for less than what it is, and otherwise evaluation, that is evaluating for other than what it is. So in this respect, there are some very common examples, as we can see, like when we talk to our children and we always say for something that they have done good at some point of time, when we are happy with it, we say, you are excellent. You are beyond, you are very special. And the next moment, when we see that they are not able to, meet up to our expectations, so our next evaluation, what we do is, you're good for nothing. And sometimes it also happens, so we say that you're as lazy as a donkey. So with all this kind of, when we are trying to over-evaluate or under-evaluate and otherwise evaluate, we tend to see that we are basically disrespecting the other. So as we also discussed, that the relationship is between oneself and the other self. So the feeling of respect, that which is within me, is also within the other. So when we evaluate the other human being on the basis of self, we are able to see that our purpose is the same. As I have the natural acceptance to live with continuous happiness and harmony, so similarly it is with the other. Our program is also same, that is, to achieve continuous happiness and prosperity, it's to understand harmony and to live in harmony at all levels. And our potential is also same. As I'm endowed with natural acceptance and the activities of desire, thought, and expectations are going on continuously in me, and it is the same with the other as well. So our potential also is the same. So we can see that the other self is similar to me, isn't it? Now, when we talk of reverence for excellence, so we will focus on the competition and the cooperation. So you see here, we always feel that we want to win, we want to be best, we want to be successful, we want to excel. Okay. So usually we have a feeling that I'm the best. Okay. So when we start comparing between the best and excellence, so when you say that excellence is something that which is very definite to live in harmony. But when it comes to best, it becomes relative. as you try to be better than the other. Are you able to say this? For example, if you want a house, you know that what kind of a house you need and what is the square feet that you need to construct your house, and which will protect your body and will restore your happiness. That is, I'm in my house. But supposing I start having a feeling that I want a house better than the other, better than my neighbor. So then it becomes competition. So usually when we say that an individual is the best, he's the best batsman on earth. So here we are basically trying to make something that which becomes relative, because we are trying to compare between other batsmen. So this is the kind of an understanding that we are trying to develop. But if you are working towards excellence, then you help the other to come up to your level, or you will be stopping the other to come up to the level if you are in competition. Now, let us understand excellence. Is it about being better than another in a particular area of life or something else? What do you think? So as we just discussed, that is when you say excellence, we have a definite feeling that is to live with harmony, because that is something naturally acceptable to me, to live with continuous happiness and harmony within myself. But when it comes, when I'm not trying to focus in a particular area of life and what it means to me to the best, to be successful and to excel. So let us further explore the program for it. Is it through competition or through collaboration? Let us pause and think that are we working towards excellence, and is our program through competition or through collaboration? So before we get into that, let me tell you as to what is excellence and what is competition. So excellence is when we work on excellence, we work on the basis of trust, respect, and relationship. And when we work for competition, it's a conditional relationship over evaluation of self and under evaluation of the other. Because when we talk about, I'm the best, I'm unique, I'm special. Okay. And we try to have the feeling of deprivation through which we try to accumulate and exploit the other. Are you able to see this? Excellence is rightly utilizing, and there is a definite completion point. Whereas in competition, there is a comparison. That is, the other is better than me, or I want to be the better than the other. So, and there is some sort of a understanding of, understanding of lack of relationship between the other. And when I'm working towards excellence, it is the other is like me and we are in complementarity. So there is no competition point. And when we understand about excellence, it is understanding harmony and living in harmony with continuous happiness at all levels. As an individual human being, as a member of the family, as a member of society, as a unit in nature and existence. So excellence and competition are not similar. As I just told you, that excellence is something that which is definite. It doesn't have it doesn't let you to live in disharmony because you are helping the other also to come up to the level. Whereas in competition, he or she hinders the other from reaching to her or his level. As I just told you an example, that is supposing I want a house. So I want a house to live in for my comfort to protect my body. But if I am in competition, I will feel that I should have a better house than him. I should have a better car than the other. Or I will go with the feeling of jealousy, opposition. So let us first ask ourselves, do we want to be in relationship or opposition? What do you think? So definitely our answer would be that we all like to live in relationship. And when we want to live in relationship, so do we want to live in harmony or disharmony? So I want to live in harmony. And that which further promotes me to get continuous happiness, which is naturally acceptable to me, and that which is innate in me, that is to have this basic aspiration of being in happiness and harmony. But when I am in competition and I hinder the other from reaching his or her level, so what is the outcome of it? I am trying to grow in isolation. And we as human beings, can we ever grow in isolation? So basically, the right evaluation that we have to do is on the basis of our self. Are you able to see this? Now let us self-reflect and pause and think how many students in the class can understand? How many students can come first in the class? Can we see that all can achieve excellence? We as academicians have a very great role in contributing to the understanding of the students in order to achieve excellence. The gross misunderstanding that goes with us is we sometimes, or most of the times, we make a comparison and we feel that in order to be excellent, one has to compete and one has to be the best. And through that, we do not understand that our purpose, our potential is the same. And through that, we try to over-evaluate or sometimes under-evaluate. So let us just reflect and find out how many students in the class can understand, all can achieve excellence, and how many students can come first in class. That is only one. That is, again, he grows in isolation. So now most pertinent question that we can ask to ourselves, that is, can we grow in isolation? Like very recently, I had a friend who we were just discussing about this, and she told me that, you know what, right from my childhood, my parents said that you should be the topper. You should top the class. And through that, she was in a state where she did top the class. She was the topper all throughout her career because her focus was always that is, I have to be the topper because my parents want it. But ultimately, she says that when I reflect back, I feel that I was always unhappy because I couldn't be with my friends, and I was always pursuing a sort of competition, which also created a sense of jealousy among others. So now she realizes that when we are we, should we more focus on excellence or should we more focus on competition? And can we see that excellence and competition are not similar? As I just told you about the differences, and that is what happens when we are working towards excellence and what happens when we are working towards competition. So is there any question pertinent to this particular discussion that we are having? I would appreciate. Or you can also ask your questions in the chat box. Okay. So here we see that the other is like me. We are in complementarity. Now here is the difference between excellence and competition. So when we work towards excellence, we see that the other is like me and we are in complementary. And we help each other to come up to his level. Are you able to see this? And are we really working towards it? And there was, for here, I would give an example. You know, I recently met an entrepreneur who is running a school. So he said that in my school, I don't encourage people who are competing. And I never give this kind of a comment that you are the best or you are someone who will do something very great in your life. Whereas I teach my students and the faculty, that is, we have to work towards excellence. We have to help each other grow. And we have to see the intention of the other and see that the other is like me and we are in complementary to each other. We have to help each other to grow. And excellence, it operates on the basis of natural acceptance that is definite, as I discussed. That is to live in harmony. Now, if I'm to ask you a question out here, do we want to live in harmony or disharmony? So definitely our answer would be we all like to live in harmony. And that which is naturally acceptable to us. And that which is innate in us. Because we have this natural acceptance of being happy all the time. And at the same time, the other is like me. The other also wants to make me happy. The intention of the other is also the same as the intention of mine. And it is self-driven, that is, by clarity of the human purpose. And we also make a right evaluation of oneself. Now, this right evaluation is done on the basis of the self. That is, our purpose, program, and potential is the same. Our purpose is continuous happiness and prosperity. Our program is to understand and to be in harmony at all levels. And our potential, that is desire, thought, and expectation, I'm endowed with this natural acceptance, and I'm working towards it. So we tend to be more prosperous, we share and nurture. So then we reach a absolute or a definite completion point. Whereas in competition, I feel that I'm special and not anyone else, only me. I'm different and better than the other. So when I interact with these kind of feelings, that is, I'm different, I'm better than the other. So are you able to see that opposition and jealousy is there, and there is lack of affection as well? So are you able to see this? It stops the other to come up to his level effort to accentuate the difference, to dominate, manipulate, and exploit. This is what we see in the present scenario. Some way or the other, the students have this in mind that we have to stand out. This is a common understanding that we have to stand out. So in the process, they are always getting into a feeling of deprivation. And the effort is done more to accelerate the differences, to dominate, and to manipulate things, because they take it into their understanding that I have to be the best. And it operates on the basis of his assumptions, which might change. Like say, for example, a very common example is about the ragging in the colleges that we had. People say that the seniors and juniors, the seniors sometimes they try to dominate the juniors. And when the juniors grow up, they grow up with an assumption that this should be the way the seniors should behave. So, and these assumptions, they go on sometimes increasing, and sometimes it also leads to, this kind of an exploitation, the wrong behavior, the dominance that the seniors want to do on the juniors. Because there is a disparity of, behavior, there's a disparity of their understanding. And sometimes also it is driven by others, that is based on reward or fear of punishment. Because when we say a student, supposing they get something and we start giving them accolades, and just on the other hand, the moment they don't do as per as our expectations, we start punishing them. So with this kind of a feeling, a student or people try to stop the other to come up to their level. Somehow they feel insecure, and over-evaluation of oneself and under-evaluation of the other. As I gave you an example, that is, the boy is excellent, the boy is doing very well, he's very special. And the other day, supposing he gets, supposing in an example, say, for example, a boy gets 50 on 15 maths. So instantly we start saying, oh, he's a wonderful boy. He'll have this analytical skills, so on and so forth. And suddenly when the marks in the other subjects, they get less, then instantly we have a kind of a thing that, oh, he's good for nothing. So when these kind of thoughts come to the minds, so what happens? They feel deprived and they start hoarding. So accumulation is done, and they also start exploiting. So that is why we have, in the education about this grading system, that is why it is said relative grading. So because of this kind of a thing, that is, there is some sort of a competition, that is, somebody is getting 90%, somebody is getting 80%. So when we talk of excellence, we measure and understand better. So when we are talking, that is, it does, when we are working towards excellence, that means we have understood the subject better. We have understood, we means that we have understood something that which is better. We are living in harmony. We are in complementary with each other. And we are helping the other to come to our level. So, so here, when we see our relatives, when they come to our houses, okay, so what do we feel? Do we like to share, or we don't, or we feel that they should, like, we try to dominate? So if we are working towards excellence, so definitely there is a natural acceptance to us with definite feelings of giving respect. And there is also a feeling of sharing and nurturing. But whereas in competition, there is no definite point. It is relative. And that is why we also have in the system of relative grading. Now, these are certain adverse impact of the feeling of competition on our own happiness and prosperity. You know, there was a student in my class who always had this feeling that he has to, he was told by his parents that you have to be an engineer and a software engineer, and you have to be placed in US. So he went on. So every time I saw him, he was sitting in one place and all the time trying to, just mug up everything that which was told. And that feeling just gave him the marks at that point of time. But what about, I could see that, what about his happiness? He was always with the feeling of deprivation. And through that, he did not, how many times, we also see that among students that they don't share notes. They don't share anything that which is given to them. Many a times I see in the school children. So when they get something, they just keep it to themselves. I'm not supposed to tell anybody. So, but on the contrary, when we realize and we try to interact with them, we see that it has an adverse impact on their own happiness and prosperity. They feel deprived, and there's a feeling of jealousy inculcated in them. And the same feeling is carried on other human beings with whom we are interacting. I had a friend who was working in a school, some international school. So he said that I've always was very much happy to get to buy good new cars. So what happened that anytime a new car used to come, so the seller would always call him and say, so that this is a new car in the market, and he would go for it without even thinking that did he really need it or not. So what happened is slowly he was totally isolated. People didn't talk to him because they had some sort of a feeling that this person is just flaunting with his own valuables, and he's trying to be more ostentatious and more showing off kind of a thing. And at the same time, when he was exposed to this particular courses, then he realized that many a times in through this competition, it had so much adverse effect of feelings. That is, I could not interact well with others because I had a feeling that I have this sort of a car, I have an expensive car, I have the latest car in the market. So with this sort of a feeling, I could not interact with the people. And it also had a feeling, adverse impact on the society and nature. Because since we are human beings, and we are always having this kind of a natural outcome of affection, care, and So with that, when we are working in competition, so which is just making us more jealous, more egocentric. And all the time we feel unhappy whenever we have a feeling of competition within. Are you able to see this? And is there a sharing if anybody would like to share something on this point or any questions pertinent to this particular discussion? Then I would be happy to take it. Okay. So it also hinders the growth of others and makes them unhappy. This is very true because, you know, when we are trying to compete and we are trying to pull the other back and pushing ourselves forward. So what happens? Neither I'm happy nor the other person is happy. And I'm obstructing. Whereas I know that the purpose potential is same. The program is also same for all of us. And the result, what it is there is, we are promoting to struggle, war, etc. in the society. Now, if we are to ask ourselves and self-explore within ourselves, do we like to be in war-like situations or we want to grow in complementarity? Do we want to always keep on struggling and juggling or we want to be in a state of harmony? So with this feeling of competitions, there is also an overconsumption and therefore exploitation of natural resources. Because if when I see that I have one house and it is sufficient for me to protect my body, to nurture my body, and also to help my family to be together. But what happens when I see my neighbor? I say, oh, he has 3 houses. He has a building of 5 floors. So even if I have 4 members in my house who can comfortably accommodate in 5 rooms, so in competition, I will build those. I will start thinking of accumulating because I have in mind that I have to build a 5-storied building as my neighbor or more than that. So I start exploiting the natural resources. I go more and more towards physical facility, which is again relative. So when we feel related to each other, we cooperate, isn't it? And are you able to see this, that our natural acceptance is more for our relationship and cooperation, not for opposition? When we see our relatives coming to our house, so we always have this feeling of being together, cooperating with each other, sharing our thoughts with each other. And so that brings a kind of a harmony within ourselves. But the more we are into this competition, we say that, oh, my relative has these many things that he has come with. So I should also, next time when he comes, I should show him that these are the things I too have. So will I be able to relate well? Will I be able to interact well? So definitely we all would agree that collaboration, cooperation, we are all looking forward to. And we all want to be in relationship, isn't it? And our natural acceptance is also for relationship and cooperation. Are you able to see this? Now, our perception basically depends on our worldview. That is, in today's world, what do we assume? There is struggle for survival and survival of the fittest, or there is relationship of mutual fulfillment in nature. Just ask yourself, when does a mutual growth or competence becomes better? When we help each other wherever needed, or when we work separately in isolation? When we oppose or misguide each other? Many a times we see that when we are in competition, we tend to work in isolation. As I said that, when in our pursuit of being very special, in our pursuit of being very unique, so what we do is we tend to be more and more isolated. We don't interact with people. So ultimately, we see that despite our personal growth to some extent, but we are deprived on many things, as in our feelings we are unhappy within. We are always living with this feeling of deprivation. And sometimes when we try and misguide others, that is also an outcome of competition. That is, when we are competing, we try that if we pull somebody back, then we will rise, making it a ladder. But just ask yourself, pause and think for some time, that when does our mutual growth and competence becomes better? Is it by pulling each other down, or is it by moving together? This is something which we have to ponder about and improve on our perception, improve on our understanding about excellence. That is, the other is like me, and we are in complementarity. Are we able to see this? Now, when we talk of reverence, so reverence is the feeling of acceptance for excellence. For the one who has understood the harmony at 4 levels, and the one who has realized the whole existence. That is completion of right understanding, and I'm able to understand that the relationship at all 4 levels, like material, land, etc. So excellence, as we just discussed, that is, it is a state when we have the right understanding of harmony and living in harmony, which leads to continuous happiness at all levels of our beings. That is, as an individual, as a member of the family, as a member of the society, as a unit in nature and all existence. So you can see that when you are disconnecting from other human beings, you are disconnecting yourself from nature. If you are not able to handle yourself, you are escaping from people, and the trouble is going on in the self. So when we talk of reverence, so it is the feeling that we have of acceptance for excellence. So are you able to see this? That is, you cannot stay disconnected and live in isolation. So when we talk about this, so when we talk about our, about a reverence, so we have the reverence towards each individual who have this right understanding about living in harmony at all levels of beings. Are you able to see this? Our basic aspiration is continuous happiness, and that is fulfilled by ensuring right understanding and right in feeling in the self. Are you able to see this? We see that excellence is the same as the basic human aspiration, and every human being innately aspires for excellence, isn't it? That is to live in harmony and to live with continuous happiness. Are you able to see this? Now, reverence is the feeling, as we discussed, of acceptance and for excellence. We take inspiration from the revered and make effort for excellence. And glory is the feeling for those who have made effort for excellence. And gratitude is the feeling for those who have made effort for my excellence. Say, for example, the food that we eat. So the food that we eat, when it comes to my plate, which the diet that I'm having is the effort of so many people who have made their efforts in bringing that food to my plate. And I can also see that the other has a feeling of care, affection, and trust in behavior with me. And I can see that the other has helped me in developing right understanding and right feeling. As we discussed, that excellence is something where we are growing and we grow in complementarity. We make the other grow. So my gratitude towards those individuals who have helped me in understanding, who have helped me to, nurture my body, to have this right understanding of having the right kind of food. And I can also see that the feeling of care, affection, and trust that they entrust in me, and they have helped me in developing this right understanding and right feeling, and has provided me with the necessary physical facility. So we can say that gratitude is significant in the development of relationship, isn't it? Now, when we talk of this, respect is that is now when we talk of our basic aspiration, so it is continuous happiness and to achieve excellence. And excellence is understanding harmony and living in harmony with continuous happiness at all four levels, in the human being, in family, in society, in nature and all existence. So when we talk about respect, it is respect for all. It is the right evaluation of potential and competence. And as we just discussed, that is our potential is same. We may lack in competence. Now, sometimes, of course, there is a kind of a misunderstanding sometimes we have. That is a person, say, for example, we would say, we would take the example of Einstein, and supposing we talk that our potential is same. So this question might crop up in your mind. That means the potential of Einstein and potential of me is it same? Now, this is something very interesting. When we talk about potential, we basically focus on the skills part. And potential of Albert Einstein may be same because the desire, thought, and expectation which is the content of the imagination, it goes on in every one of us, isn't it? But our competence may be different. So when we have this feeling of respect, I have this feeling for oneself with the other self. Because as I know that body is a material unit and my potential is same. And my program is also same. And my purpose is also same. And reverence is for those who have achieved excellence. The feeling for those who are making effort for excellence is called glory. And we are very happy to learn about such people. And gratitude is for those who have made effort for my excellence to develop my right understanding and right feelings. So for any program that we have with the other, it is essential to be able to rightly evaluate the other. And this right evaluation is called respect. In this way, you can see that all these feelings are interconnected. When you have these feelings, you feel happy. And when you share it with the others, the other also feels happy. Isn't it? So to make a successful program with the other, it is essential to rightly evaluate oneself and the other. We have seen that right evaluation is respect. Isn't it? So right evaluation is essential for recognizing those who are making effort for our excellence or achieved excellence. So we can ask our students to explore, that is, you want to be excellent or to be special, different from the other. The other wants to be excellent or the other wants to be special. So in fact, we can see that trust, which is an assurance, and respect, right evaluation, are the basis of any relationship. Are you able to say this? Now, these are certain questions which we can move forward with for self-exploration as well. And also we can ask our students to explore, that is, do you want to be excellent or to be special, different from the other? The other wants to be excellent or the other wants to be special? You want to jointly make effort for excellence or to compete to be special? Which feelings are essential for teamwork to take place? And which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the others? So we can think about these statements and tend to realize within ourselves and have this self-investigation over, that is, are we working towards excellence? Or do we want to be special and different from the other? So do we want to jointly make effort for excellence or to compete to be special? So can we take this as self-observations and ask within these questions asked to ourselves, and also we can ask our students to explore through these questions and reflect upon. Now this is an home assignment, that is, make a list of people that you take inspiration from. Can you see that they are living in harmony or making effort to do so? Can you see the feeling you have for them? Can you see that they are helping others to live in harmony? What would you like to learn from them? And what effort would you make? So today, in today's session, we were able to understand the meaning of excellence, discovered the need of feeling for reverence and the need of collaboration for mutual development. And we also saw that what is the difference between excellence and competition, and what are the adverse impact that we are having through competition, how it affects our behavior. And so excellence is something which is naturally acceptable to us and that which is innate in all of us. So with all this understanding, let us take this home assignment and work towards our self-development. So is there any reflections? Then I would be happy to take it. With this, we have come to the end of the session. So thank you so much for listening, and let us all explore and investigate within ourselves and try to develop this right understanding and right feelings to live in harmony and prosperity. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Ji, thank you. Thank you so much, Paridi. And thank you all the co-explorers for this. Listen. So we'll meet again next Wednesday for more such exploration. So thank you, everybody. Namaste.